Welcome back everyone, Mudford here. Out in the shop again, working on the 99 Buick Regal GS. Just doing a small job tonight. So here's what I'm working on tonight. I got one of the Aeroforce Scan Gauges. And I'm going to be trying to mount it up on the A-pillar. Here's the box it came in. Aeroforce. You can get these from ZZP or right from Aeroforce. It's going to probably be the same price. They're over $200. You can get some different colors for it, for the front of it. I was just getting ready to buy one new, and I found this one on eBay that was used, had everything with it. $145 I think I paid for it shipped. So I saved a couple of bucks. And then I went ahead and got the pod for it. I think I paid 15 bucks or roughly for it from Amazon. And we're going to use that to mount it to the A-pillar. Before you change your pulley size, you're going to want to get one of these installed. Because then if you put too small of a pulley on it and give yourself too much boost, if you can see that it is detonating, you can do something about it. But you may not be able to hear it when you're driving and may not notice it and think everything's fine. This will tell you how much it's retarding it. So it just plugs into the diagnostic port under your dash. But anyway, the plan is to feed that wire that out there up through the dash. We're going to try to bring it up right there. We're going to drill a hole in this trim piece for the A-pillar. And then we're going to run the wire through the hole. And then we're also going to drill a hole and have a bolt sticking out so that we can have it mounted on there and then get it in place here. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on that. I'll go ahead and bring you along and let you see how I'm going about it. Hold the side cover off on the dash. It just pops out. There's 3 clips that hold it in place. And it looks like the easiest thing to do is going to be to feed the wire from up underneath through to here. And then it should be able to sneak right up here underneath that other piece of trim. So that's what we're going to shoot for right now. And I'll just come back when I have it pulled through. I'm not going to stand on my head and reach through there and show you that. So you'll see it when I get it fed through. So I just went ahead and pulled the outer cover off. I got it hanging here by the wiring. It has a push pin on this side and a screw on the other side and a couple of other keepers up on the top. That should be enough for me to see what I'm doing. There's still a metal shield on down here, but I can see down in enough that I should be able to feed the cable up through now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and try to get it fed all the way up to the A-pillar. Then I'm going to figure out where I'm going to drill my hole at. There are definitely nicer ways to do it. I think this will look fine though. But you can buy the whole trim piece. I don't know if they make them for Regals or if it's the same as a Grand Prix for the A-pillar, but you can get those. But I'm just trying to do it on the cheap side. So I just spent a few bucks on the pod and I'm just going to mount the pod. I think it'll look fine. So I got it fed over through to here. It wasn't very hard. You can kind of see there's some openings in here where you can see it and guide it along. Now I just got to get it fed up through. Shouldn't be very hard at all either. It's up through. So now I'm just going to, that's probably plenty of slack. Just going to coil the slack up and put it right in here. This is a pretty good spot for it. And just leave it like that. So now what I'm going to do is put the trim back on. I'm going to see exactly where I want that to be. And then I'm going to make a mark on the trim of where to drill it at. I slipped the trim panel back on the A-pillar. Got my wire sticking out now so I don't lose it. And here's my pillar pod that I got from Amazon. And I kind of got it together somewhat where I want it. And I've got a marker. I'm going to go ahead and make a dot. Hopefully where I want it on there. And pull the trim piece back off. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to hold the camera and do that, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you when I get it where I want it and mark. So I got to mark where I want the bolt hole on the trim here. The nice thing is I do have enough slack in the wire. What I can do is pull it way out here and get the gauge all mounted with the wire on, and then put it into place and then pull the slack out down to the side here. So that's a good thing. I'm going to go ahead and start working on this. Drilled a hole through the panel where I had it marked. Just happened to have an Allen head bolt laying around. Put it through and it was too long, so I trimmed it flush with the nut. And I drilled a second hole to feed my wire through. I hogged it out a little bit. Made it just big enough to fit the connector through. You can see it's sticking up through here. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to get the whole gauge assembly mounted together and then feed it back in place. So this pod assembly comes from Amazon, and it's a little loose on here, so I'm going to mount some thick tape or something on here just to make it fit a little snugger and not wobble around. I started out with a piece of thin cardboard and some electrical tape, and it wasn't enough, so I ended up putting a couple layers of Gorilla Tape, and now it fits just like it was made. Flush, no wobble. So now I just got to feed the wire in here, get it mounted how we want it, tighten it up. Okay, I got it all snapped back together. The screen is a little too bright, you probably can't read it. But I'm reading knock retard on the top, horsepower on the bottom. You can switch it to boost. You can monitor a lot of stuff with it. But knock retard is the key because most scan tools do not read that. So it's kind of important to have some way to check it. All I got to do now, I've got my wire back where I want it down here. Snap this cover on. And then my bottom trim cover, and we're golden. But yeah, I'm happy with this setup. I can easily see it from here. You can see it's tucked pretty much to the side. It's not real gaudy. I've got the wire going right next to the mount, so that doesn't look real bad. It looks pretty good. And if you're going to be messing with pulley size, no matter what anyone tells you, you will want to have one of these. Otherwise, it's really easy to do damage to your engine. With this, you can keep an eye and make sure you're not. And not only the knock retard, you can keep an eye on a lot of things with this. So thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit the like button. Share this video with your friends.